On October 6th, I was really bored, and so I was staring at every rail cam, including Delschler, to see if there was anything decent coming. And after a long wait, CSX I-157 rolled by with a flared SD-70 Mace rebuild leader. Let's go! So I headed out to Walkerton 3 hours later to catch it. When I got there, I looked down the tracks, and yeah, there was nothing coming westbound. But after looking down there, I turned around to check the eastbound signals and actually saw the guys with the go-kart that rescued the last CSX Mac I tried to see. Check out that video if you haven't, it's a crazy story. Anyways, self-promoting aside, the eastbound signals were green, so we knew it wouldn't be too long before we got at least something. The eastbound I-136 did not disappoint because it was basically a clone of the train I was trying to catch, except backwards. Instead of having a flared Mace leader and a GEVO trailing, it had a GEVO leading and flared Mace trailing. The GEVO also had a really weird horn. It sounds almost like a K5 LLA. If someone in the comments can tell me what horn that is, please, because I genuinely want to know. It sounds so weird, but so awesome at the same time. After that, since we still couldn't see if any westbounds were coming, we decided to move down to North Ewell Trail, which is just a little bit east of Walkerton, which gives you an even clearer view than the regular spot does of any westbounds coming. And there weren't any. And no, that weird blob of light there isn't a westbound, it's just the glare of the sun off the rails and trees in the very far distance. However, right as we were about to leave North Ewell Trail to go back to the normal spot to continue waiting, we heard the horns of CSX I-172, the BNSF Transfer Intermodal, in the distance, and stuck it out to film it. It had a pretty normal trio of BNSF Bean Sniffer GEs, with a semi-nice H2 trailing second. After that, we moved back to the normal spot and waited for even longer before eventually coming to the unfortunate conclusion that we had missed RN57 with its flared Mac leader. However, just before we were about to leave, I took one last look at the tracks and all of a sudden saw a random eastbound coming. This one being the other intermodal transfer, I-166, which is the CPKC transfer. And it had representation of both of the CPKC railroads, with a CP rebuild AC44 leading and a KCS GEVO as rear DPU. Nice. And just like that GEVO earlier, the leading CP unit had a really nice horn on it. That loss was semi-disappointing, as I was really hoping to pace that Mac. However, on October 14th, things were looking up, because another unit was coming that I could pace, one that was even better than the Mac. CSX 1875, the P&LE Heritage Unit. This is one of the few CSX Heritage Units I've actually seen before. I've only seen 4 of them, but I'll take any CSX Heritage Unit. These things showing up in the Garrett subdivision is pretty rare. You'd think with this being a CSX main line, they'd be pretty frequent visitors, but nope. I haven't had the chance to see one since January, so I was going to take it whether I'd seen the unit or not. We got to Walkerton, and we sat there for about 45 minutes, and I got to talk to another rail fan who was actually a plane spotter and told me some really unique information about O'Hare Airport, which I'll definitely be visiting eventually to film planes. Any of my plane viewers look forward to that. Either way, after not too long, we both got jump scared while I was talking to him when the train suddenly rounded the corner. I got in the car and made the terrible decision to wait until the unit had passed to start pacing, so that way I confirmed that it really was the P&LE unit. I don't know why I thought it would be anything else, because nothing else had come through Delshler westbound, but whatever.
Here we go. That's it, go!
But because we had waited, we got stuck behind a slow car. And it took quite a while, but we eventually were able to pass the car once we reached the straight section of Highway 6. And then, well, the pacing could finally begin. While we were pacing, we noticed that the train was going a lot slower than the last train we had paced, which is going at 60 miles an hour. B157 here was only going 50, so we knew we could easily beat it to the gateless crossing in South Center, and that's exactly what we did, so I could get my only non-pacing shot of the unit. As the tail end of B157 went out of sight, I looked down the tracks and saw the headlights of an eastbound. And as it got even closer, I realized that it was led by a Mace. Let's go! An awesome bonus train to finish off this video and this rail fanning trip. And And with all that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Catch those units while you can, especially the CSX Heritage units, and I will see you in the next video.